There are so many misconceptions about a plant-based diet. As a certified holistic nutritionist and as somebody who follows a plant-based diet myself, I'm going to debunk 5 of the most popular myths about a plant-based diet. On the screen, you're going to find the chapters of the video, and on my channel, you'll find healthy, quick and easy plant-based recipes, self-development content, guided meditation recordings, and so much more. First up is, where do you get your protein from? Oh my God, this misconception and this myth is probably one of the most popular misconceptions about a plant-based diet, and it's one of those ones that you can't shake off. It's like a leech. You're like trying to get it off and it just won't go away. Protein actually originates in plants. It does not originate in animals. Animals eat protein, and therefore we get protein from animal products as a second-hand source. Rest assured, you can get your protein from plant-based diets. They've got all 9 essential amino acids. Of course, different plant ingredients and food categories have higher content of protein than others. So for example, beans and legumes, tofu, tempeh, those ingredients in a plant-based diet contain a higher amount of protein than, for example, lettuce, right? Also, nuts and seeds are known to have high amounts of protein. Also, to clarify that every single plant ingredient, including lettuce, including blueberries, including absolutely every single ingredient, contains protein, carbs, and fats. Okay, so even think of lettuce. Even a lettuce contains protein, carbs, and fats. So obviously there are some foods that contain higher amounts of protein than others. So what's important is to make sure that you are consuming a balanced, well-rounded diet. Regardless of whatever diet that you follow, you should be really ultimately aiming to consume a well-rounded diet. I hope this clarifies the protein myth, and we can put it on the side and move on. Myth number 2 is a plant-based diet is incomplete or unhealthy. That is not true. A well-balanced plant-based diet can give you everything that you need nutritionally. So that includes protein, iron, calcium, omega-3, right? In fact, studies show that people that follow a healthy plant-based, well-balanced diet actually are at lower risk of developing chronic disease. So like diabetes, heart disease, etc. Having said that, do people on a plant-based diet need to supplement? Yes, and I'll explain why. So B12 is probably the one thing that I would say is an absolute must in terms of what has been recommended for supplementation. And there have been a couple of other things that you might need to supplement with. And until there is more research, B12 actually doesn't originate in animals. B12 originates in water and soil. But because of today's sanitization processes, the water is sanitized, and therefore to make it safe for us to consume, so we're not able to get our B12 from there. Why do animal products contain B12? Because animals will consume dirt, like fruits and vegetables or foods that are covered with dirt, and they are getting B12 from those sources, or water that's not been sanitized. For that reason, we do need to supplement with B12. If we were able to get it from nature, like water, unsanitized water directly, then we wouldn't need to supplement. Having said that, because of the sanitization, we don't get it then from the animals if you're on a plant-based diet, and you're getting it secondhand from the animals, so therefore you need to supplement. Also, having said that, there are some people who are on a standard diet who still need to supplement sometimes with B12, and again, because certain things are sanitized, so also perhaps maybe some of the animal products are not consuming as much B12 from the environment, I'm not sure. A couple of other things that are also preferred to supplement with. I'm just going to mention a couple, but of course, if you're somebody who wants to follow a plant-based diet, please speak to your doctor to make sure that you get the recommendation from them. But a couple of other things I'd like to mention is omega-3. So you can get omega-3 short-chain fatty acids if you consume 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed daily. If you're on a plant-based diet, you can get that. And if you're also not on a plant-based diet, if you consume that in your diet, that's fantastic. There are some people that don't like seafood, and therefore they're also on a standard diet but don't eat seafood because of personal preferences, so that's also a good way for them to get omega-3 from there. So for the short chain fatty acids, 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed will give you what you need nutritionally. Having said that, more research still needs to be done to check whether we are able to convert the short chain fatty acids to long chain fatty acids with omega-3 from the flaxseed. So therefore, it is recommended to get long chain fatty acids through supplementation until we know more. There are also other supplementations that are questionable as to whether we can get them readily and easily from our food, like iodine from seaweed. Then it is recommended that you also supplement, because it's just an easier way for you to get that from, for example, a supplement, rather than trying to incorporate it daily in your diet. In terms of whether you can get everything that you need nutritionally, yes. In fact, studies show that people thrive on a plant-based diet, and it also helps manage, prevent less risk for certain chronic diseases, like I mentioned. Myth number 3, which is a plant-based diet is boring or limiting. While I agree that you are obviously eliminating certain foods from your diet, which is like animal-based products, chicken, meat, fish, dairy, eggs, it is not a boring or limited diet. You've got more than 200 different ingredients to eat from on a plant-based diet, including things that are from fruits, vegetables, beans and legumes, whole grains, and nuts and seeds. One of the beautiful things that I've experienced when I switched to a plant-based diet is I have stopped centering my plate on an animal ingredient. So really being more creative, really consuming different foods to get different nutritional benefits from different ingredients, whether it's legumes, whole grains, nuts and seeds. So you're really getting so much fiber and nutrients from there. Myth number 4 is that on a plant-based diet, you can't eat any animal-based ingredients. Actually, that is incorrect somehow. Of course, a plant-based diet does not contain animal-based ingredients. On a plant-based diet, you ideally shouldn't be having any meats, dairy, or eggs. Having said that, it is not veganism. A plant-based diet is followed when people want to eat a plant-based diet for health reasons, benefits. There is evidence-based nutrition, so there is research that suggests that a plant-based diet is health promoting. And so if, for example, there are some people that will say, oh, I can never be plant-based because I love cheese way too much, or I can never be plant-based because I love my grandma's chicken pie. Technically, on a plant-based diet, there are ingredients that you want to eat and there are ingredients that you want to avoid. So technically you can have them on occasion, right? Because we're not looking for perfection, we're looking for progress. And this is what constitutes a plant-based diet. So it does not mean that the person needs to adopt one perfectly and 100%. You might decide to eat a plant-based diet all year round, but when you're traveling, because you're limited with options, that you might choose to eat vegetarian food, or you might choose to eat certain other animal products on occasion because you want to, right? People that choose to be on a plant-based diet, many of them do so for the health benefits, okay? Some of them do it because they want to help manage their chronic diseases, whether it's managing their diabetes, their heart disease, high blood pressure, while others want to also benefit, they don't have chronic diseases, but they want to benefit from a plant-based diet because it's high in fiber, high in antioxidants, nutrient-dense diet, one implemented obviously with the whole foods and clean plant-based eating. While veganism is where you choose not to eat animals, full stop, for ethical reasons, for the animals or for the environment. So there are people that are only plant-based for health, for the health benefits. There are people who are vegan, like don't eat animal products for the animals, and some that are vegan for the planet because it is less taxing on the environment. And that those are the 3 main reasons people choose to be plant-based or vegan. Some people might be doing it for all 3 reasons. Some people might be doing it for 2 main reasons. Some people might be doing it for predominantly for the environment. Some people might be doing it for this, for that. This idea is where you can't have something is not true. And the other thing I would say is that also please keep an open mind. I mean, today we are so lucky and we're so blessed. There are so many alternatives. There are many plant-based alternatives. For example, cheese, plant-based cheeses. Some of them are highly processed, but there are others that are high good quality that you can even make at home, which are a lot more cost-effective, or purchase from businesses. There are cashew-based cheeses, nut-based cheeses that are very nutritious and delicious, and while some might really taste very similar to dairy-based cheeses, some are just good substitutes, even though they might not taste the same, but they are still very tasty and satisfying some people. And there are other people that completely dislike the plant-based cheeses, and that's also fine. You know, at the end of the day, again, it's not about perfection, it's about fundamentally looking at the research, the nutrition, evidence-based research when it comes to nutrition, and deciding for yourself if you want to eat more plant-based or fully plant-based to reap the benefits. Myth number 5 is that a plant-based diet can be very expensive. That's not true. A lot of the staples like beans, lentils, rice, seasonal fruits and vegetables are very cost effective. Of course, there are some of the ingredients that are packaged or that are organic you might find to be more expensive. Even for example, like dairy-free milk, so like the plant-based milks, the substitutes might be more expensive in the market. But I would say two things about that. One is it's still growing market. So as the demand increases, the businesses are able to provide more cost-effective prices. So with time, we should be seeing more cost-effective options of products that are packaged. The second thing I would say as well when it comes to those things is that there are things that you can make at home that are more cost-effective. So let's say you like plant-based milks, but you think it's really expensive, much more expensive than buying cow's milk from the store, then you can easily make a homemade almond milk. You can easily make a homemade oat milk. Like they're super easy to make. You can make them and they will last you, a batch can last you several days. So you're not having to make everything from scratch. There's actually certain things that if you find them to be quite expensive, then you can make them at home. Even for example, some vegan cheeses. You can make some very easy and quick cashew-based cheeses that will stay good in the fridge for a certain number of days, especially if you add certain things like vinegar or salt or whatever maybe. Like there's certain ingredients that will help preserve it for a bit longer. And this wraps up my video debunking some of the common myths about a plant-based diet. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and subscribe, because that helps me to keep doing what I'm doing. If you're somebody who wants to work on their personal self-development, if you're somebody who wants to eat healthier, then this is the place for you. I share healthy plant-based recipes, quick and easy because I know you're busy, self-development content, guided affirmations, guided meditation recordings, and so much more. Hopefully, I'll see you in the next video.